It's been a while since I last talked about Manor Lords, the upcoming medieval RTS game in development by Slavic Magic that focuses on a realistic take of the 11th to 15th century Europe through some rather awesome combinations of economic and military mechanics. And have had several conversations with Slavic Magic himself. I wasn't truly aware of just how popular Manor Lords had become until just recently. At this very moment, Manor Lords has over 78,000 followers on Steam. And a common rule of thumb on Steam is that the number of wish lists are anywhere from 5 to 14 times the number of followers. If we average that out to an even 10 times, that means it's feasible that right now Manor Lords has over 750,000 wish lists. That is massive. In fact, it's so massive that Manor Lords is sitting at number 18 on Steam for wish lists. Number 18 across every single game that has ever been released or to be released on Steam. It's currently beating games like Company of Heroes 3, Victoria 3, and Falling Frontier. And in a world where solo dev indie games seem to be popping up left and right, it's easily the hottest on the market right now. In today's video, I want to dig into 3 reasons why Manor Lords has such a massive appeal. By first taking a look at the community engagement and how it has both shaped development and fueled the hype train. Then, I'll take an overview of the city builder aspects of the game, giving you, the audience, a look into why it's different from other strategy games. And finally, how combat, even though it's on a much smaller scale, has depth, and why you might not want to be the warmonger like it's so easy to be in other games, and that matters when comparing to less impactful strategy games than, say, Total War. Before we get rolling though, as always, if you enjoy any part of this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course turn on bell notifications. Doing any of these on top of commenting helps YouTube see the video and push this content out to others, so it's always immensely appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, go wishlist Manor Lords. It will 100% be worth the 10 seconds it takes to get to the page and click the wishlist button. Link in the description. Now let's dive into Manor Lords, the hottest solo dev indie strategy game. One of the core pieces of development that Slavic Magic has made a priority is community engagement. That is, presenting ideas or updates on mechanics, buildings, or the functionality of the game as a whole to the community at large across social media, and taking those opinions and thoughts, then implementing them into the game. The best example of this is a poll and following discussions on the role of idle villagers regarding construction and the role therein. The current builder system around the poll back in September was similar to Frostpunk, where idle villagers simply did the construction that was needed until they were assigned an actual job. Yet the current testers had suggested it would be a better idea to have a builder's camp, where it would turn these peasants into actual builders. Across all of the polls, keeping the Frostpunk style system won, with a potential caveat that at some point advanced craftsmen would be available to build the more important structures such as churches, castles, etc., etc. While no doubt a big relief off of Slavic Magic's shoulders for not having to develop yet another system, I'm quite positive he would have made it happen were the scales to go the other way. Another community-driven mechanic is livestock, and this occurred way back in June. With livestock in that version popping out of just thin air, Slavic Magic presented options how to create a more realistic approach to acquiring this crucial economic piece of your village. While a less definite answer came out of that discussion, as far as I know, it still drove a huge amount of community interaction with over 100 comments on Twitter and who knows how much traffic on the Discord. It's that consistent tie-in to the community that is one of the strongest contributors to the success of Manor Lords thus far, at least in my opinion. Slavic Magic gets to probe the thoughts of a community that comes from every sort of background in every form of life, and then see how people will react to different mechanics and pieces of the game from a broader standpoint. A step further, as we see more and more games in the last few years, be it through early access or limited time events like Humankind or Company of Heroes, regularly showing the community at large what's happening keeps the hype train going, even if it might be at a slower but steady burn in the case of Manor Lords. A simple post showing progress can lead to positive discussions of some cool features, like Slavic Magic's revelation that wood barrels didn't have iron hoops during this period, but rope, and how he was able to make a brand new asset to stay historically relevant. It's a very easy and effective way to market your game while not foregoing your community's desire to glimpse more information about said game. The city building side of Manor Lords is shaping up very well these last few months, and it's been a big development push for Slavic Magic. The goal for the evolution of your villages and your empire is to combine realistic city expansion with region-based development, while also providing a multi-stage resource and economic system to cater to that entire development. This means less about optimization in terms of a grid-based construction of more modern cities, and more about an organic and historically accurate approach of the time period, where villages just kind of crept outwards with buildings that flowed with the already established footpaths and terrain laid down by previous generations. This system is great for players as it means almost complete freedom in how and where you choose to build, with little consequences for not aligning with other buildings or trying to, again, build to more modern standards. It also just recently got some fantastic quality of life additions to it, with houses now having gardens behind them to grow things like veggies, herbs, livestock, and even bees for honey. Merchants will only follow road systems, so while your villagers may carve out their own walking paths, it's beneficial for the player to develop a road network that will bring these merchants through their villages. Farms can be customized in shapes to cater to these road networks or to allow for some good non-grid based optimizations based on the surrounding landscapes. A big reason why this organic style building matters ties into the region-based system in place. Not every region has the same resources, and your expansion will be tailored to the lack or exploitation of said resources. If one region lacks an abundance of lumber, you'll probably build more conservatively, or have to figure out how to import from another region. One region with a lot of stone may be your next target, now that the original village is starting to lay foundations for more complex buildings, things of that nature. What you'll see develop are specialized regions where you choose to focus on only doing X or Y instead of trying to do X, Y, and Z all in one place. Which also brings in the multi-stage resource and economy system full circle into your city building. Resources in the game can be refined, combined, and crafted into specialized goods, which you can then sell at market to merchants. But you might not have the experienced iron craftsmen in the same region where you're mining iron ore. And if iron crafts sell 4 or 5 times as much, it's completely to your benefit to figure out how to get that iron into the right region for it to be further used. It's fair to say that this system will be extensive without it being tedious, and I for one am very much looking forward to giving it a go. Looking at it from this perspective, it's easy to see the draw and appeal of creating your own city that just looks and feels authentic and organic, with natural growth and development as more and more villagers come to your sleepy little town, and it evolves into a true medieval city through the centuries. There's not much quite like it in the current game market. The last big piece of the hottest solo dev indie strategy game is its battles, and good Lord Almighty do the battles resonate with a huge portion of the Total War community, and just about everyone else remotely interested in real-time strategy battles of this kind. It's impressive what Slavic Magic has done by himself from the trailer and development videos we've seen. They look amazing, and no doubt they will be, but not for the reasons you might typically expect. You see, there's an actual strategy behind these battles. Sure, you can say the same thing for Total War, but much like the city building, everything I'm about to talk about ties into each other seamlessly in ways that they don't in those other strategy games. First, battle mechanics. From shield walls of spears to grouped lock formations, fire at will and volleys for archers, charges, forward-facing retreats, slow push advances. The small minutia of toggling different formations and mechanics will matter in these battles. It's not enough to mosh pit in the center, flank with horsemen, and you're good and done, especially when terrain and weather make the difference. Uphill, your soldiers will tire faster, wet weather affects speed and fatigue, morale takes into effect, all in response to how you react to the situation at hand. Before that though, there's your actual army. Manor Lords will have a handful of troop types with levels of experience ranging from militia peasants to mercenaries to knights and a lord's retinue of professional soldiers. You'll need armor and weapons to supply every single one of your men, and these won't be a standard one-size-fits-all texture armor either. Each soldier has variations that, while still creating a cohesive look overall, will ensure that a mix of men don't all look like clones from Star Wars, but unique characters all fighting together. Then, the men themselves. Your army will consist of men that reside in your villages. Every single person is represented to its fullest. When your villagers are summoned to fight, should they then die in battle, they're gone forever. That also means whatever they did in the village now has an opening. There's an economic impact to losing people in this game. If your army is made up of farmers, woodcutters, and your only iron smelter, and they all died, you no longer have farmers, woodcutters, and iron smelters. Your people are then at risk of not eating for lack of food, or not being able to build or heat themselves, or sell crucial goods that bring gold and merchants into the village. Your military actions have consequences. It also means that the battles themselves will be on a rather small scale. Instead of thousands of men fighting, it might be a few hundred at most. This makes battles a lot more intense once you take it all into effect. It makes the player think twice about how many men they really want to bring to the battlefield. Do I risk hurting my village's economic progress? Can I keep my villagers alive should these men die in battle? It's this level of management surrounding your armies and battles that's on equal par with city building side of the hype. Knowing there are so many ways to approach the military aspect of Manor Lords adds replayability and a forward-thinking mindset while playing the game itself. And for me personally, these small-scale battles are going to be way more fun and heart-racing than commanding 10,000 troops. With everything we've looked at in this video, I have no doubts that any game with this level of depth and approach would be in the top tier of Steam pre-release. But I think it's the fact that all of this has been accomplished by a solo dev, with a couple of contractors, mind you, that really lends itself to the people's hype and desire to wishlist. This isn't another creative assembly half-baking a Total War game or rehashing the same thing and slapping a new name on it. This isn't an exploitative EA Games looking to cash in quick and throw loads of microtransactions or DLC at you for an overpriced amount. All of these mechanics are things that the RTS community, Total War fans especially, have been wanting forever, hoping that their favorite big-time, big-name developers would listen to no avail. And then here comes Slavic Magic, answering that call. Manor Lords has a crazy level of appeal right now, and it's only going to increase into 2022, and I am very excited to see where it goes. Thank you so much, guys, for checking out this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's awesome that Manor Lords is at number 18 on Steam wishlist right now, and you can help increase that by going there now and wishlisting the game yourself. That will also help keep you in the loop regarding development, so it's a win-win for everyone. And you can also do your part in supporting this video by giving it a like, subbing to the channel, and turning on bell notifications. Oh, and also be sure to comment down below as well. Doing all of these things will push the video out to other people on YouTube to build even more hype and excitement for the game. Keep an eye out on the channel, as this isn't the last Manor Lords video you'll see. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.